Hey, welcome back to the boat build. Today we're going to be doing more of that EVA foam on the back part of the boat. So like the back bench, and then there's some, I'll show you. So all along here, zoink, and there is going to be that pattern. I didn't show you, I did the floor in the faux wood kind of stuff. It looks pretty cool. It was super cheap. I found it for 15 bucks a roll. So that's kind of why I went with it, honestly. But so now I'm doing this. First thing that I'm doing is removing these hatches. And the way that I'm doing that is the way that I showed you in the first video with a drill and a drill bit. And I'm just going to drill them out. Boop. And then repeat that for all of the little rivets. With all the hatches removed, I now need to get it cleaned up. There's a lot of carpet that's left under here, and then some paint. I guess it was at one time painted green underneath the carpet. I don't know. And then, remove the glue and everything, kind of like what I did last time, but I'm going to do it differently than what I showed you last time. To scrape the carpet off, I'm going to use this tool. It's actually a trim panel removal tool, but you can use anything. Chisel, paint scraper, whatever. But I'm just going to get underneath it, like that. And just kind of work it off. Yep, and then that pulls off. And so I'll just do that for all the remaining carpet. What I'm doing on this one that differs from the last one that you saw is I'm going to be using an angle grinder with a flap disc to remove the glue. It's a lot faster and it leaves a little bit of texture, which maybe would be nice for the double-sided tape to hold on to. So that's the way I did the floor. I didn't show you, but that's the way I did the floor, and it worked pretty well. Okay, now that I have it all ground down and shiny and I've removed all of the paint, the glue and the carpet, I'm going to take my alcohol here and I'm going to make sure that I get all of the little small stuff off. So alcohol and a rag, and it's going to clean it up real well. I've got this piece of flooring that is 17 inches by 48 inches, I believe. And I'm going to just take that, I'm going to peel the sticker off first and butt it up to this cover that I've reinstalled just so I can get my marking. And then lay it out smooth on this. It doesn't go all the way across, but that's okay. Once you've got your foam down, take a razor blade. I like to use one that has a handle, kind of saves your fingers, and cut off any kind of excess material that you've got. I always like to go a little bit over, that way I can cut off what I don't need, and I'm sure that I've got as much as I do need. So just go ahead and remove that. Moving on to these hatches, I've got the frames cleaned up with alcohol, and I'm going to hit it again with this Rust-Oleum automotive primer. Truck. Loud truck going by. Anyways, I'm going to hit them with probably 2 coats of this, and then let it dry for a good while. Then hit it with the bed liner, let it dry, bed liner, dry, clear coat, dry, reinstall. And here I've already gone on with the bed liner, and I've let it set overnight, and I've done 1 coat of clear using this Fusion all-in-one clear coat. I got it on sale. You might notice a trend there. But yep, so I'm going to do 1 more coat of this, and then I will cover that and add the latches. So I have these hatches cleaned up, not entirely cleaned up as you can see, but what I got to do next is drill holes so that I can install the new style hatch latch. And I know that that needs to be right about there because of measurements that I took already. So you're going to need to take measurements on your own because it's going to be different than mine, but just figure out exactly where you need to put your hole and then use a hole saw like this. Next thing that we need to do is figure out the size of the foam that we're going to put on here. So that's just about 19 by 7. So 19 by 7 piece for that. Then I'll measure the other 2 pieces, get them cut out, and I'm going to clean this up with alcohol like I did everything else that I've grinded on. So clean it up really well and then stick that stuff down. With the foam put on the hatch, still have a lot of leftover stuff here. That's where my razor knife comes back into play. I'm going to trace around the edges to clean it up. Now that this is trimmed up, I need to cut out where the hatch goes. So I'll open it up from the inside and I'll use the razor knife to remove the large circle right there. With that hole cut, now we can install the latch. We're going to do that by, try to do this one-handed real quick. Sticking it in through the top, of course, right? And then opening this back up. Okay. It'll stay a little bit. Take this piece, set it over top, and then with the screws that were provided, run the screws in there. I'm going to use my little drill. Screwdriver worked just fine, but I'm just going to be bougie or lazy, whatever you want to call it. With the hatches finished, what I need to do now is go through and drill holes where the rivets were. If you're lucky, you can line up the holes. I know I'm not that lucky, so I'm just going to go ahead and pop some new holes. And I'm shifting this one a little bit, so it definitely needs new holes. And then I will use my rivet gun and some 3/16 by 1/2 inch gap rivets and hold this thing down. This one lined back up, so this is great. I'm not having to actually drill new holes. I'm just drilling holes through the foam. Now we install the rivets. Press the rivet into the rivet gun like that, and then put it in one of the rivet holes that we just drilled out and cleaned up. And then you gotta press this thing a couple of times. So here it is with the hatches done and the back part done, casting deck done, and the just the regular deck done. Now I've still got a lot of finish work to do. I need to do something with this section, those sides. This is going to be this same pattern. I think that would look nice. But I'm not sure where the rest of this is going. But we'll figure it out when we get there. I think it looks a whole lot better than it did before. Definitely going to be more comfortable and last longer. So this is probably the last video I'm going to do on the EVA flooring. You should get the gist by now. If not, there's a million other videos by guys that make way better content than I do. But if you want to continue to follow along with this boat project, I'm going to rebuild the lower end of the motor pretty soon. And I've got a lot of electrical work to do also pretty soon. So, and there will be other stuff. I'm going to custom make a console and a windshield for it and just little stuff here and there, but hopefully next week or two I'll have another video out, and it should probably be electronics. So hope this helps.